Joining us now at the Innovation Cafe is our very own Kris Abel, and the cafe is brought to you by Kobo. Open up. Now, you are talking to the primary forensic anthropologist on a case I covered, the Robert Pickton murders, Dr. Tracy Rogers. That must have been a fascinating discussion.
Oh, very fascinating. I mean, you're talking about someone who specializes in identifying bodies from their bones, or even just a small piece of a bone, as well as studying the actual crime scene. So I asked her, how did you get involved in such an interesting field?
At that time, the forensic side of things was very, very new, and there weren't that many people who were doing forensic anthropology in Canada. In fact, there was, I think, only one person doing forensic anthropology in Canada at the time, or two. It was a nice sort of discovery for me that one of my professors got the occasional call from the police, so she let me go with her to a case, and that was it. I found that happy meeting point between my interest in helping people and my interest in skeletons. I find the hardest or most challenging cases emotionally are the ones where the family members are present. Like in the Pickton case, there was a tent set up for the family members, and so they were a very visible reminder of, what this means to a family. I think that made an impact on me early on in the way that I view cases, knowing that there's always a family there, whether they're standing at the gate or they're waiting at home, they're there.
Now, the Robert Pickton cases were huge in terms of the news, in terms of the interest that it developed. But I asked her from a forensic point of view, was it challenging? Was there anything special about that case?
What was unique about that scene was the size of the scene and how much of the property, including the soil, we had to actually dig through. We used sorting machines to help sort soil out from other materials, and then we had large teams of anthropology-trained individuals to sort through things by hand, looking for evidence and bone. But if you think about that very large scale, it's exactly what we do on a small scale. We search systematically. Every case is unique, but there's a protocol, there is a sort of foundation that we can build on in order to figure out now if we have to take this up to 16 acres, what is that going to need to look like?
Now, I asked her, I had to, because the internet has this really strange obsession that if you were to commit a crime that involved glitter, because glitter, the arts and crafts substance, gets everywhere, you're bound to get caught. And she'd never heard of this, but I asked her, okay, what do you think of that theory?
Well, I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old daughter, and so I'm well aware of glitter and its ability to get into all sorts of places and to be tracked when you think you got it. I would have to agree with those people that say if there's a glitter on a scene, the evidence will clearly point to somebody who's responsible, because it is virtually impossible to get rid of that stuff. So I've not yet heard of a forensic glitterologist or anything along those lines.
Glitterologist, I love it.
Well, glitter breeds, right?
Yeah.
It just breeds. It just keeps on.
Glitter crime.
There's an arts and crafts person, Bonnie Burton, and she likes to call glitter the herpes of arts and crafts.
Oh, that's really awful, Kris. Oh, my God. Like, send him away. Okay, what's next?
All right, so I had a chance to talk with Sam Maggs, the author of a new book called Wonder Women. Fantastic book that takes a look at 25 trailblazing women throughout history involved in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And so kind of familiar with doing that kind of research. I asked her when she was collecting these stories if she noticed any positive patterns that emerged.
I think one of the overwhelming patterns in this book is female friendship, that throughout time, women supporting women is what has enabled women to become successful in these fields. And a lot of the times, today we're sort of conditioned to feel like there can be one woman, there can be one Felicia Day, or there could be one lady scientist or whatever, because, there's only one represented in our textbooks, and there's only one on the superhero team. You know what I mean? So we feel like this innate sense of competition sort of is like ground into us. But yeah, overwhelmingly with these stories, we see that like women supporting other women and female friendships are what enables you to be successful, because we got to back each other up when everybody else is kind of like, doubts us or actively wants us to not be successful. So that's really cool.
So that's Wonder Woman. And I asked her, of course, if she had an ebook that she could recommend.
My favorite book of last year was called The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. It's about a woman as part of like a ragtag space crew, and they're on a ship that drills the wormholes through the universe. And she's part of like this really diverse crew in terms of all different kinds of aliens and sexualities and genders and all this stuff. So it's really inclusive as well. But just a super interesting story with like some of the most compelling characters I've ever read in a book. And also I'm a big nerd for like space and sci-fi and chicks in space. Like that's what I dig.
You must get on really well.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Thank you very much, Kris. The Innovation Cafe is brought to you by Kobo. Kobo makes it easier to access the stories you love and discover new ones in an instant. Over 5 million ebooks, a personalized reading experience, and points earned with every purchase. Visit Kobo.com today. This is what she said on The Jewel. Stay with us. Kobo makes it easier to access the stories you love and discover new ones in an instant. Over 5 million ebooks, a personalized reading experience, and points earned with every purchase. Visit Kobo.com today and open up.